All right, well, thank you so much for the opportunity to present at the 2025 International Congress for Qualitative Research and Theory Methodologies. We are excited to be part of this conference to showcase our mixed methods research. Okay, so we are talking to you today about the faculty influence on undergraduate students' career readiness, a mixed method study where we will present insights and applications for higher education. So I'd like to start first by introducing our presenters. So I am Mary Shuttlesworth. I'm an associate professor of psychology at LaRoche University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the United States. We also have with us two undergraduate students who worked on this research project. So Kelsey Stack, who is an undergraduate psychology major at LaRoche, Magnus Bissell, who is also an undergraduate psychology and biology double major at LaRoche, and our coordinator for career development at LaRoche, Yvonne Hill, who could not join us today, but Yvonne contributed greatly to this research study as well. So today in our research presentation, we will talk to you specifically about how faculty can influence undergraduate students' readiness for the job market and for their careers. This presentation specifically addresses conference strand number 3, where we will discuss the impact of qualitative research from insight to action. So we will spend the latter half of this presentation specifically talking about how can higher educational professionals use this research to make sure that our students are ready for their careers. So as we think about career development, we want to really underscore the point that career development is everyone's responsibility. So as higher education professionals, we may have a tendency to think that career development is not the job of faculty, that it's really the job of people who work in career services or career and professional development. But we know that that does not work. Career services and promoting career development among our undergraduate students works best when everyone is involved. Additionally, we are all at LaRoche University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and our school's mission statement specifically calls for career-ready graduates. So in thinking about making sure that our graduates are ready for the job market, this also helps us in fulfilling our university mission. All right, so Kelsey is going to take over the literature review. Kelsey?
So in order to understand the role of faculty in shaping undergrad students' career development, we first wanted to understand the studies that surrounded our topic. The first being coursework integration, which adds career readiness skills to academic courses, helping students to grow professionally. In this study, 8 NACE competencies were taught that are listed. The students claimed that once they were taught these 8 NACE competencies, that they felt more prepared for their future careers. And the coursework given to students embodied professional application skills by helping to improve students' resume writing and interviewing skills. The second study we found talked about capstone courses, where these classes support students in exploring careers and preparing them for their future jobs and or graduate school. It acknowledged that only 37% of the undergrad psych programs offered a career prep course. It also explains that outside research proves that prep courses improve students' self-efficacy and decision-making skills. The study also talks about engaging career prep topics while offering alternative modules that can be put into required courses just in case colleges had a lack of funding.
All right, so the first article here found that among college athletes, familiarity with career services was the biggest predictor of their utilization as a whole. They had looked at 9 career services total, but out of those 9, they found that 4 career services had the most significant positive outcomes for their students. And those 4 being careers online, career fairs, career workshops, and ultimately that having an athletic academic advisor was very helpful to the students. And compared to using just 1 or 2 career services, they found that students had the best measurable effect when using multiple career services. The second article here found that real-world learning activities increase student motivation and responsibility. And ultimately that the more industry connected the task was for the student, so more connected to their major, it had more perceived value to the student. And overall, for this second article, uh, the overall finding was that experience-based learning had positive outcomes on professional readiness and employment skills for the students. And then now we're looking at the gaps in current literature, which is what we are assessing, and that we found that current studies don't address the student thoughts on faculty throughout this process of their career services, and that we can fix this by highlighting the impact that faculty have on this process and allow us to highlight better support strategies to better support students in their career services.
So the purpose of this mixed methods study is twofold. We used the quantitative method, the correlational predictive design, and qualitative method and descriptive design. The first being to determine if students' degree of career development and confidence in making career decisions predict the likelihood of seeking faculty input on their career path. The second is to better understand how undergraduate students describe the role of faculty in their career development process. So we wanted to ask our participants three main research questions. The first is, to what extent does undergraduate students' degree of career development predict their likelihood of discussing career plans with professors within and or outside of their major and their academic advisor? The second research question is, to what extent does undergraduate students' confidence in making career decisions predict their likelihood of discussing career plans with professors within and or outside of their major and their academic advisor?
All right, and then this last research question here, research question number 3, takes a look at how do undergraduate students describe the role of faculty in their career development process. And overall, this last question is just heavily intertwined and related to the gaps in literature mentioned previously.
So within the questionnaire, we used convenience sampling and gathered 71 participants. The majority of our participants were white women between the ages of 18 to 21 and majored in either social or natural sciences. Within the interview process, we used purposive sampling and looked at the students' class rank so that we could get the most educated and passionate responses. We gathered 14 participants for this, and the majority who participated in the interview were white women that were 18 plus years old, majoring in social sciences. So those who did participate received a Google form link prompting them to provide informed consent. All that did participate were required to complete this form, which explained the purpose of the study and described questions that will be seen in the survey. It also clearly states that the student's identity will remain confidential and offers students to participate in an individual interview and further explain the purpose of that interview. And the reward afterwards for completing both the questionnaire and the individual interview would be $20 in a US gift card. And then we proceeded to have an 18-item instrument called the Student Career Construction Inventory. It helps to establish the degree of career development. Some samples of this are selecting an occupation that will satisfy me or qualifying for the job I like best. We then used the Career Decision Self-Efficacy Scale, which was a 25-item instrument. This measures confidence in the student's ability to make career-related decisions. Some samples of this are choose a major or career that fits your interests or navigating the job interview process. During our semi-structured research developed interview, we used 15 questions. And so the procedure was to complete the questionnaire, and then we indicated and asked our participants if they were interested in that interview afterwards.
Okay, so for the results from the quantitative portion of our study for research question 1, where we were interested in to what extent do undergraduate students' degree of career development predict their likelihood of talking to professors in and outside their major and their academic advisor about their career plans. We used that student career construction inventory as the predictor variable here, and we found that students' scores on that student career construction inventory significantly predicted likelihood of talking to all 3 of these individuals. So we used a simple linear regression for this data analysis. So in interpreting the results here, students who have a better feel for what they want to do professionally are more likely to talk to all of these professors. Okay, and then results for research question number 2. So we wanted to know here if students' degree of self-efficacy in making career-related decisions predicted their likelihood of talking to those same individuals. And we found that it did significantly predict likelihood of talking to faculty, so professors in and outside their major, but it did not significantly predict likelihood of talking to an academic advisor. So in interpreting this, students who have more confidence in their ability to make career-related decisions were significantly more likely to say that they would go talk to professors, but not to their academic advisor for their career plans. So in the qualitative portion of our study, we conducted interviews with 14 individuals who were a subset of that questionnaire population. And we used Braun and Clark's reflexive thematic analysis to do the analysis of those interview transcripts. So the 6 steps for Braun and Clark's approach are presented here. We followed these 6 steps as we did hand coding first of those interview transcripts. And then we developed the codes, the sub-themes, and the initial themes through that hand coding process, and then used AI, specifically ChatGPT, to help verify those codes, sub-themes, and themes, and also to help with refining the wording for those individual themes. So in the interview data analysis, we came up with 127 unique codes through the initial hand coding. Those 127 unique codes were distilled down to 14 separate sub-themes, and the sub-themes were created by grouping codes that had commonalities. So you can see in the table that's presented here, this sub-theme of faculty facilitated opportunities, networking, and career advising. We basically took all of those codes that were specifically related to faculty providing opportunities for students to interface with other professionals in the field, or faculty providing that specific kind of career guidance, and merge those into one sub-theme. So from those 14 sub-themes, we then combined those based on commonalities and came up with our final 5 themes that we will talk about now. So in the qualitative data, remember we're trying to address research question number 3 here. How do undergraduate students describe the role of faculty in their career development process? So we came up with 5 total themes. So you can see the themes are presented here on the left side, and then the quotes presented on the right. So our first theme is that students see faculty as both mentors and as role models. So a resounding theme across the data was that students really trust faculty, and they want faculty to share with them their career experiences, and they want faculty to give that career advice. So as you can see from the quotes here, students said that they were inspired when someone talked about the real job that they had before being a university professor. And they also wanted faculty to connect them to other professionals in the field, so to use their professional networks. One thing that many students mentioned as well was that they were less interested in the formal education that faculty have and more interested in the practical, real world kind of hands-on experience that faculty have, and that students want you to talk about these things. They want you to tell them about the career experience that you have. Our second theme that students talked about and every single student that we interviewed mentioned this, that the quality of the faculty-student relationship has to be there for them to feel comfortable coming to talk to a professor, coming to talk to faculty about those career-related questions. So students across the board mentioned that they wanted faculty who they trust, faculty that they see as supportive, that they find approachable before they will go talk to them. So there has to be some kind of relationship there already before they'll feel comfortable enough to take that next step and come talk to you. Students also mentioned a degree of student agency, so their own willingness to seek out opportunities, but that they wanted that agency to be coupled with structured support that is built into existing academic structures. So students talked about finding things like internships or jobs, going to career fairs, but they also wanted to have a more formal piece that is built into the academic curriculum that focuses specifically on career development. So for example, many students mentioned that they would want to have a specific class, or at least a component of an academic class that they're required to take that really dives into how do I find career opportunities? How do I prepare for these kinds of opportunities in the workforce? And that the best time to take those classes would be around sophomore or their second year in school. Additional themes, so our final two here. So theme number 4, students talked about specific barriers to career development. And these barriers are basically things that got in the way of their ability to realize whatever their career goals are or were. And so from the quotes over here, you can see that we had a lot of international students who participated. And in the United States, international students have some pretty specific legal specifications that they need to meet to be eligible for internships. And so they wanted additional support for those kinds of things. Additionally, students mentioned things like just being anxious or nervous and intimidated. So they don't want to come talk to faculty. So it then becomes incumbent on us as faculty to be approachable, right? To facilitate those conversations and to make students feel comfortable coming to us. And then also that there were at times perhaps good intentions on the part of faculty, but a lack of follow through. So faculty saying, hey, I can connect you with someone, and then not actually following up with that. And then lastly here, our 5th theme, that we have collaborative support systems. So it was very clear from students that they want to see that there is collaboration among these different academic entities on campus. So they want to see that their faculty are talking about career opportunities in the classroom, and that career services or whatever career support you have on your campus is also collaborating directly with faculty. So as you can see from the quotes here, there are students talking about speakers that might be hosted by career development, and when their faculty encourage them to go, they see the importance of doing those kinds of things, or encouraging them to go to an internship panel or going to a career fair. So making sure that faculty and career development are on the same page. So that's a nice segue into our more applied portion of the presentation here. So talking about how can we actually take these insights from our research and use them to improve the lives of our students to help ensure that they are career ready when they graduate and when they're ready for the job market. So this is from the perspective of career development professionals and how they can work specifically with faculty to support our students. So one thing that career development professionals can do is really empower faculty advisors by providing a kind of roadmap for advising. So career development professionals can work directly with faculty to help students better understand the progression of career development, and then also to help faculty become more comfortable in that arena. So one thing that could be done, and this is an example that's taken from our career development professionals here at La Roche University, there is a literal roadmap that details for students, depending on where they are in their academic journey, what are the specific things that they should be doing to make sure that they are career ready. So you can take a look at what freshman and sophomore or first and second year students should be doing, and what third, fourth, and fifth and beyond year students should be doing. So our career services at La Roche has created this roadmap here. They're sharing this with all of the faculty, including our adjunct or contingent faculty, and then really trying to help our faculty become more comfortable in having these conversations with students. One thing that we are going to try this year is to have a breakfast at the beginning of the semesters so that faculty can provide feedback to career services on how this process is working and if there are suggestions for improvement. Additionally, so when we think about how we can promote career exploration through the academic process, we may want to focus on career planning courses, especially for our younger students. So from our interview data, we found that students want this. They want career development to be built into the curriculum, and they typically want this around their sophomore year experience. So if career services could create some kind of career development course that faculty can then use or incorporate that into an existing course, this is meeting our students where they are and also helping to support their career goals. So delivering this to students somewhere in that second year seems to be what students are asking for. And then we can also pilot these, assess these, modify it, and then potentially roll it out, of course, based on different departmental needs. Additionally, in integrating career exploration in the classroom, there are opportunities in capstone or senior experiences where we could include additional career development approaches. So faculty who have expertise with those career development professionals already can kind of build those things into those culminating or capstone experiences. So looking here, we can do that through building in things like more case studies, more experiential learning to help students really see the relevance or the connection between what we're doing in the classroom to what they are doing or eventually will be doing in their careers. So the data that you see here on the side, taken from this Kinsey NIQ study in 2022, looking at first year students, so that's the blue bar, and senior students, that's the purple bar, and asking them these questions about have they had this case study or experiential learning. And as you can see here, many of them, by the time they're seniors at least, have done some case study analysis. Some of them have been researching career interests by the time they're seniors, but still not that many. And some also have had some opportunity to liaise with industry professionals, but there's clearly a deficit here, right? And there's a lot more work that can be done. So if we can partner as faculty with career services to bring these individuals into our classroom, that can help address this need. Additionally, working with career services specifically to build those employer relations. So when you as faculty have professional connections, sharing those connections with career services helps to maintain those connections, but can also help bring those employers to campus so that we can, of course, support our students. And we all, when we're working as a team, get to celebrate those outcomes together. So that's our take-home point, is that we are better together, meaning that when faculty work directly with career services, this supports our students, helping them to be career ready when they graduate. So thank you so much for your time and attention today. If you have any questions, I am Mary Shuttlesworth. You can contact me at this email address provided here. Thank you very much.